How much responsibility do you put on the CDC, on the White House, for the way that things are going right now? I mean, the CDC director has to kind of follow the lead of the president. I can understand him feeling a little bit between a rock and a hard place with your questions, but I also understand your question, too.
I think the CDC needs to be taking a lead here in helping the president understand what the law is that the CDC is obligated to follow. What was so infuriating and disappointing about the exchange I had with the CDC director is I was asking him about an existing law on the books now for years exactly to address this kind of situation. And I'm a tough questioner on the Hill. People have seen it before. But in this case, I actually told him in advance the night before, I'm going to put this to you. The correct answer here is yes. As a professor, I've never given my student the answer before. And then it took me 5 minutes of really pushing him in order to get him to commit to do what law already lets him do.
I'm sorry. You gave him the question and the answer the night before you asked it on the record?
Correct. And worse than that, my colleagues, Lauren Underwood and Rosa DeLaura and I, sent the CDC a letter 1 week before that hearing clip that you just played, telling the CDC, this is the authority, this is the provision that lets you provide for testing for free, regardless of insurance status. And we asked for a response by 1 week. They didn't respond in that week. The night the hearing started the day before, it adjourned suddenly because the president demanded the CDC go to the White House. So that night I told them, when you come back tomorrow, here's what I'm going to ask you about, whether you have this authority. And so they knew exactly what I was going to ask him. And he still attempted to obfuscate things with the American people. So it's really disappointing to me that it took that much work to get that answer out. But I'm glad now that the Families First Act that the House passed further clarifies that this is the obligation of the federal government to help step up and pay for this testing so that people won't hesitate to call their doctor and explain their symptoms for fear of the cost.
So let's look forward now, because we're at a point where everyday Americans are seeing their way of life challenged in increasing ways, literally by the hour. It seems a school district is closed. Bars and restaurants are closed. Now we're hearing there's this new set of guidelines that's coming out tomorrow. Anthony Fauci and the vice president talked about it today. Are you any more confident that the U.S., that the people in government who are handling this are more on the right track today than they were on Thursday? And what do you see needs to be done? What are the priorities that need to be taken care of so that we are moving in the right direction?
Well, I think we're seeing a lot of good leadership from our local elected officials and from our state elected officials.
But not from the federal government, not from the coronavirus task force?
Exactly. The problem here is with the president. Let's remember that this did not just happen a week ago. This did not just happen 2 weeks ago. I sent a letter January 28th to the Centers for Disease Control asking for a briefing, because that's when the first case was identified in Orange County, California, in the community that I represent. So I think they've failed to act aggressively enough. But look, they have more opportunity. They can still make positive changes. And one of the biggest ones they need to make is going further than the House was able to. The White House resisted Nancy Pelosi's push for paid sick leave for every American worker. And instead, we have a bill that curries favor with special interests and largest corporations in the country, and says that if you employ more than 500 workers, you don't have to provide paid sick leave. And to be clear, it's those huge corporations that can best accommodate the flexibility and the financial costs of providing paid sick leave.
Congresswoman Katie Porter, thank you so much. And again, congratulations for, in a very divided Congress, being able to push and get something done. Thank you.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me, or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.